Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. If you're wondering where the heck I am at, I am still in the same place. I'm just in a different room, so don't mind the background. I just kind of had to make do with what I could today. Um, just to fill you guys in, this is my second time recording this episode, so if I seem a little off, that could be why. And I don't really feel 100%, so I'm trying to just power through and get this episode out to you guys. Um, what happened was I recorded it yesterday and there was no audio for some reason. I listened back and there was nothing. So, of course, I couldn't post that for you guys. So, and I had no idea how to fix the audio. So, maybe um, if I have that problem again, if anybody knows anything about like editing videos or, retrieving audio that could possibly be lost, let me know because I don't really know anything about that. And I didn't really have time to try to like fix everything. I was just like, I'm gonna have to re-record it. So here I am, second take. I'm gonna try to make this a little short just for my own benefit because I don't want to lose my voice from talking too much. Um, so yeah, let's get into it. So today I wanted to talk about the future of DC Extended Universe. Um, I guess I feel like most people know what that is, but if you don't, basically I'm talking about like DC movies, like the whole DC versus Marvel thing. And um, there's pretty much been a new, I guess you could say, a new CEO and a new co-chairman of DC. And so because of that, they're talking about going in a different directions with DC movies in the future. And I think they're kind of going to be starting on it next year. So I thought that would be kind of an interesting topic to talk about because there's been a little bit of controversy around it. And I've seen some people talking about it. And I just kind of wanted to, I guess, like discuss it and give my 2 cents and hear what you guys have to say about it because I'm sure there's somebody out here who will listen to this or who will watch this that knows a lot more about DC stuff than I do. I really don't know. Like, I'm not going to come on here and act like I'm an expert because I haven't seen every DC movie and I've barely seen any Marvel movies. So I don't know a lot about each universe, but I know that, for some reason I've always kind of been drawn to like DC characters a little bit more than Marvel, which I know that might be like crazy to say cuz most people like are fanatics of when it comes to Marvel movies and characters, and it's like I mean it's some of the biggest movies that have come out in the last decade. So I know people are like huge fans of Marvel and everything, but for me I've just always liked DC characters a little bit more. I don't know why. Um, Maybe because I just never like fully dived into Marvel stuff, and I don't really know where to start because there's so many movies, there's so many storylines, and I feel like at this point it's too late for me to try to catch up. Um, but again, if you think there's one character story who I just need to like watch or read about or something, let me know. And I'll try to get into it. And I know there's a lot of like Marvel TV shows on Disney Plus. Haven't never really gotten into those because I don't typically watch Disney Plus that much. So I feel like there's a lot that I've missed out on. But I just recently was kind of hearing all this stuff about DC, and I'm like, hold on, like what is happening here? Like this is, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. It seems like it could be a positive change, but the way they're starting off, I'm like, hold on, you guys are like, I mean, you guys aren't playing around. So basically, like the big news is that Henry Cavill, the actor Henry Cavill, who has been Superman since, I mean, he's been Superman for almost a decade now, so he's kind of been the Superman that we have been seeing for a while. He first played Superman in the movie Man of Steel back in 2013, and I remember watching that. That was a good film. And that I was like, gosh, like thinking back, I'm like, that was the year I graduated high school, so I'm like, that was a long time ago. Um, but yeah, so he did that movie, and then I believe a couple other movies he did that he was Superman in was I think it was Batman versus Superman or Superman versus Batman, one of those. And then he did a Justice League movie, and I think that was around 2016, 2017, something like that. I don't know if he's been Superman in any other movies. Fill me in. Let me know if you guys remember any other. I don't remember there being a Man of Steel 2, so I feel like maybe this is what was going to happen. So the thing was, Henry Cavill announced back in October that he was reprising his role as Superman. And I think people were excited because we hadn't really seen a big Superman movie in a while. And I know there is a Superman TV show out right now, and I think it's on the CW, but that's obviously different than a full DC movie. So he announced that, and I know I saw a clip of him. I think he was doing press for Enola Holmes too, and he was talking about it, and he seemed really excited about getting back into the role. Although some people were kind of upset as well because that meant that he was ditching his character in, I think the show was called The Witcher. Never seen it before, but I know that he was in a TV show. I'm not sure if it's on HBO or um, it might be something like that. I could be wrong, but I know the show was called The Witcher, and so he was like, "I'm not, doing that because I'm going to be doing Superman again." So it was like mixed reviews, but I think most people were kind of like, "Oh, that's cool! Like we're going to get another Superman movie." So, um, cut to now, and they're saying that he's not Superman, and that he's been axed from, I guess, Superman. At least as far as like DC movies, Superman, he's not going to be Superman anymore. And so I'm like, well, what the heck is going on? Because he literally just announced that he was going to be reprising his role. So what happened was, like I mentioned in the beginning, there's a new CEO of DC, James Gunn and Peter Safran, I think. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Sorry, sir, if you're watching this, I probably mispronounced your name. But you guys can look it up and you'll know what I'm talking about. And so pretty much they came out and they're like, we want to take DC to a new direction. And so, and I think kind of like their first, I don't know what you want to call it, but basically like as far as the Superman movies go, they're like, we want to tell a story of a younger Superman. So Superman, while he's working at the Daily Planet, so before I guess he's Superman, the way that we know him. So I'm assuming maybe like the story will be following him when he's like a teenager or in his maybe like early 20s or something like that. And obviously Henry Cavill is like, I think he's like in his late 30s or something like that. I don't know, but he's older, and so that wouldn't work. And so they're basically like, "Yeah, we're going over here, and we're gonna leave you over here," which I thought was kind of messed up. But I mean, it is what it is. It's not like Henry could really do anything because he's not a young guy, so it wouldn't fit for what they're trying to do. Although I was a little confused because they said it's not an origin story, but it is something that will focus on him in his younger days. It will focus on Clark Kent, I guess, when he's younger. So I'm not sure about what exactly they're going to be trying to do, but who knows? I mean, I guess it's still in the early stages. They're probably still trying to figure out who's going to play Superman now, which I'm super interested to see who they're going to get. If they're going to get like a well known actor, if they're going to get somebody we haven't seen before. And I'm not too sure what the response was from like audience people because I know a lot of people like Henry Cavill as Superman, or I feel like they did when he was kind of first coming out on the scene. And then, like I said, he's in this show, The Witcher, and people liked him in that. And so cutting him, I was like, that's a pretty big deal. Um, and obviously whoever they choose, people are going to be comparing him because we've seen Henry Cavill as Superman for a while, so people are definitely going to compare and be like, you let Henry Cavill go for this guy? Like, I'm just scared. I don't know what they're going to do for sure. A little nervous to see who they end up picking and what the movie actually ends up being, but I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But I was pretty like surprised by that because I was like, he was just going around saying that he was going to be Superman again. So but obviously when he was saying that, this was before James Gunn and Peter had took over. So that was why I guess he was kind of announcing that a little early. But yeah, because I was like, there's no way he's going to go on air or do interviews and say that if they've told him that he wasn't going to be Superman. So I was like, what is going on here? But I guess that was the thing, that they hadn't stepped in yet. And so once they stepped in, things, I guess they're immediately like changing things up. And, not only with Superman, but also it kind of leaves us wondering, fans wondering, people that are fans of DC comics and DC movies and stuff, kind of wondering what they're going to do with like a lot of the other characters that we know. with Batman is I don't know if Jason Momoa is going to come back as Aquaman. Um, I don't know if they axed Wonder Woman 3. So who knows if the same actress, I forget her name, but she's been, Wonder Woman for a while. I don't know if they're going to keep her. Like I'm kind of wondering if they're just going to get all new actors to play these superheroes, or if they were just, cutting Henry because he's not like a younger guy anymore. I don't know. What do you guys think? If you've heard about this news already, are you like, are you excited about it? Are you nervous? I'm a little nervous to see what they're gonna do. I mean, I don't think that it will be bad, but I'm just kind of wondering because we've been seeing these same actors as these characters, and they're really like prominent roles. I don't know if once they bring in new actors, if that's gonna sit well with the audience. But I guess at this point, they're probably just trying whatever they can because they're trying to rival Marvel, and obviously Marvel is like way up here. They're making bank every single time they drop a movie, whereas like a lot of people, at least from my end, what I hear, what I see on social media, a lot of people are like DC movies suck, and they don't add up to what Marvel is, and the quality is not that great, or the writing's not great, or whatever it is. So I think, obviously like Marvel is going to be their biggest competition, so I feel like that's kind of what they're focused on, is they're trying to catch up to Marvel. And I guess in order to do that, maybe they have to create a whole new cast of like Justice League people. I don't know, but I think it'll be interesting to see what they do. Um, I had also made note that back in August they canceled a Batgirl movie, which I didn't even know that that was happening or that that was made. And so apparently they had showed like a screen test to some people, and it didn't go over well, and I guess people didn't like it or people were disappointed in it. I think some people said that it looked cheap, for it to be a DC movie, but keep in mind this wasn't going to be a big like movie in theaters. It was supposed to be something exclusively for HBO Max. And I don't know the actress who was playing Batgirl, but I know that they said Michael Keaton was supposed to be in it as Batman, which I thought was kind of crazy. Um, and so it looked like they had like a good cast of people. So I'm not sure what happened there. I guess people just didn't like it. And so Warner Brothers cut it and was like, nope, we're not releasing this. Will it ever see the light of day? I don't know. But um, yeah, I guess they figured like we don't want to put this out and it flops. And then we just like lose a ton of money and it just makes us look worse, I guess. So they completely cut it, which I feel bad for the people that were part of the movie and everything, because I can't imagine like working on a movie for however long they did, and the studio just being like, nope, we're not putting it out. It's not good enough. But I also understand them not wanting to put out just anything because they do have a reputation to uphold, and like I said, they're trying to go against Marvel and pretty much like any other big blockbuster movie that a lot of people are going to go and see. So, there's that. But from what I've read too, and I was reading a lot of it on Collider, which is like a really good website for like movie and TV news. If you've never heard about it, check it out. Um, I was reading. I'm sorry, my throat is like. Ugh. Anyway, I'm gonna sound nasally this whole episode. I can't help it. But from what I've read, I don't know if this is 100% accurate. It seems like some of the most um, recent DC projects that actually had a lot of good success was Joker back in 2019, and then the Batman movie that just came out with Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz. So apparently those two did really good, which I'm happy for, the Batman movie, because I think a lot of people were questioning that decision to make Robert Pattinson Batman, because obviously most people, we know him from Twilight and everything, and I think people were kind of like, him as Batman, him as Bruce Wayne. I don't know about that. I guess people didn't see it, but I know he's a good actor because I've seen him in other movies outside of Twilight. And I watched the Batman. It was on HBO. It might still be on there, not too sure. And I thought it was pretty good. It was definitely dark. It was like a much kind of a much darker version than Batman, but then I don't even know if I want to say that because Batman as a whole, like his whole story is super dark. Everything about Gotham is like completely dark. There's like no hope in that city. And sometimes I laugh about it because I'm like, how the heck is that city still standing when all that destruction happens? Like every single movie, every single time, a villain comes in and like destroys everything. And I'm like, how are people still living there? How is this still a functioning city? I don't know, but I mean, I guess that's why it's fictional. But yeah, it was a good movie. And then I had also found out too that James Gunn directed the second Suicide Squad movie, which totally makes sense to me because I remember like watching the second one and I was like, whoa, this is like much more. I don't want to say gory, but it's like the kills were very in your face and they were showing people like getting sliced and diced, whereas I don't remember that in the first one. Correct me if I'm wrong because I haven't seen the first one in a while, but yeah, again, it was kind of like darker, so I'm not sure if that's kind of the theme that they're going to be playing with going forward. I think they have, supposedly they have some like 10-year plan of all these like DC movies that they're crafting out and everything. So I think it'll be interesting to see. It's something to kind of look out for if you're a fan of like superhero movies or just DC as a whole, or if you're not a fan of DC and maybe you're kind of thinking, well, hey, maybe they'll do better this time around with different direction. Maybe they will. I don't know. Um, but yeah, before I continue this conversation, I did want to remind you guys that my podcast is sponsored by Stream Media. So if you'd like to check it out for yourself, you can go to studio.streann.com. Streann is spelled Streann. I just spell it out because I know sometimes that can be a little confusing. And especially if you've never heard of Stream Media or Stream Studio, then of course you could check them out. Look them up on Instagram or Facebook. They are on social media. And then, like I said, if you go to the website, they'll ask you for an email. And then once you give your email, you get a login code and then you're able to get in. And so basically, you'll have access and see everything that I'm seeing from my end as a podcast host, which is pretty cool because it's all free. It's all simple to use. So if you do check it out, let me know and let them know. Like tag them, make a post about it or something like that, just so they know that people really like the software that they're using. Or if you have recommendations or things that you want to see them do, let them know, and I'm sure they'll be open to what you have to say. But anyway, so okay, back to the Suicide Squad thing. So, um, yeah, I definitely noticed the difference with the second one. I don't know if I would say I like the second one better. I kind of feel like I like the first one a little bit better, but I don't know. I'd have to go back and rewatch them to be honest, because I haven't. Or I should say I like aspects of the first one better than the second one, but then I will say with the second one, I did like that that Harley Quinn was much more. I don't know what the word is. I think the complaint that a lot of people had with the first one was that she was seen as just a sexual object and then that was it. And she was kind of just like the eye candy of the movie. And I think in the second one, it wasn't like that because she wasn't with Joker anymore. And so she was like, I'm doing my own thing. Like, I don't care. And I think I like her like that a little bit better. I think I like her character. Um, more independent in that way. And then we saw a continuation of that in Birds of Prey, and I like that movie as well because that was kind of like an all like female cast. And I heard that movie didn't do that great either, which I that was kind of surprising because I feel like Harley Quinn is like one of those characters that everybody likes, whether you like DC stuff or not. And I think her obviously like her relationship with Joker is like super toxic and everything, but it's really entertaining to watch. And her as an individual character, I think her backstory and how she got to where she is now is just really interesting to me, and I feel like that's why a lot of people like her character. So I'm kind of surprised that like with anything with her being in it that it wouldn't do well, but supposedly it didn't do that great. But I think they're definitely planning on making more Harley Quinn movies, so you know I'll be tuned in to see that for sure. If there's any DC movies that I'm gonna watch, it's definitely gonna be stuff having to do with Batman because that's kind of like what I favor, I guess. I would say Spider-Man is my favorite superhero, but like Batman characters and like that whole universe is just so dark and crazy that it's just fun to watch. I don't know. And then what else? So Black Adam just came out in theaters not too long ago. Heard mixed reviews about that. Haven't seen it. Um, and I know that I'm not sure if James Gunn and Peter Safran were a part of that movie being made, or if that was made and they already knew that they were going to be, head of DC. But it seems like that might be the beginning of things changing for, going into the future with Black Adam, and then next year, or actually, no, not next year. I think it might be it's either the end of this year or next. No, it's the end of this year. I think they're supposed to be doing another Shazam movie, and then next year there's going to be a movie about the Flash, with Ezra Miller. So I feel like, or maybe I should say, that will be the beginning of like changes we're seeing to DC movies, because that will be under their direction, of course. So that's supposed to come out June of next year, and I think that will be, or I'm hoping it'll be a good movie. I think people would turn out to see that one, because I don't think we've had a really big Flash movie that I can think of. I know the CW has a show that became really popular. I never really watched it, but yeah. So I don't know if there's really any like big Flash movies that I can think of anyway. So I think people will like to see that. But from what I've read, it looks like Black Adam and the Shazam movie, and then maybe even the Flash movie, they're all like deeply connected to Justice League. So if they continue to do movies like that, I feel like they're probably leading up to doing another Justice League movie. But obviously, I guess we won't get that until we know like who Superman is, and then if the rest of them are keeping their their roles, like, I'm blanking on her name, but the actress who plays Wonder Woman, and then Jason Momoa as Aquaman, and yeah, I guess whoever else will be a part of Justice League. I'm not sure if they're gonna get new actors or not, so we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, and then the other thing was that I think Annie Machete is supposed to be directing The Flash, or maybe they already filmed it. I don't know. And if you guys know, Annie Machete directed both It movies, so I think that's why too. I was kind of like, oh, I feel like this could be a good movie, because he seems to be a good director. I'm not sure if he has a history of directing superhero movies, but I liked what he did with It. Obviously, completely different movie, completely different genre. But if it was any, if directing and the direction is anything like what he did with those two movies, then I feel like it could be really good. So I'm excited to see what they'll do. But I'm also a little nervous about the whole Superman thing, because I'm just like, whoever you get, like, people are going to be comparing. Like, how people are. Um, and I feel bad for Henry Cavill. I know he had the chance to play Superman, but it's like they just totally like took that away from him. So, I mean, I guess he'll be okay. Like, he'll be in some other big movie or some other big TV show, I'm sure. But and he's just, was in Enola Holmes too, so I heard that was pretty good. But yeah, I'm really interested to see in what direction they're gonna go in, and whoever else they get to be a part of the Justice League, is it gonna, you know, live up to everybody's expectations? I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Um, Apparently, Superman, or I should say Henry as Superman, made an appearance in Black Adam. I heard that. I don't know if that's a rumor or if that's true or not, or if that was just something that was said. If you guys have seen that movie, let me know. I know that's a spoiler, but I actually kind of want to know. So if they did that, then I'm guessing that. See, I'm just confused. I guess they did that, like I said before. The new people came in for DC, and then that was gonna kind of gonna be his way, maybe to announce that he was coming back as Superman, because I'm sure people weren't expecting him to make an appearance in that movie, and so for him to appear like that, and then them telling him like he's not Superman is just like, I don't know. I shouldn't laugh about it, but I'm just like, why do you let that man go out there in public and just tell everybody that? Now he's like having to go, actually, I've been dropped, and um yeah, it's kind of like a little all over the place, if you ask me. But um oop, I don't know what happened. Did I do that? That might have been me. Sorry about that. But But yeah, uh I think all this is really interesting, and it does make me excited to see more DC movies, and hopefully people will be open, I guess, to more DC stuff, because it's kind of like messed up how much it gets trashed. Like, I guess there aren't things that they could do better, but I don't know. I don't feel like it's as horrible as people make it seem like, you know? I think sometimes it's kind of just people jumping on the bandwagon. They're going, well, everybody else is trashing DC, so I'm going to trash it too. And I'm going to say how much I don't like it. But it's like, not every single movie is terrible. Like, honestly, but pretty much all of the DC movies that I've seen were decent, were pretty good. Not going to say it's like the top rated movie, but I guess in my eyes, I guess it's all subjective anyway. But to me, it's like none of them have been really bad. Like, even the first Suicide Squad movie was not bad to me. If you're one of those people that is like, I hate DC, or like you really feel like they don't put out quality movies, tell me why, and why you think Marvel is so much better, because I never really understood that. But again, I haven't watched a ton of Marvel movies, so maybe I'm kind of just biased because I've always liked DC characters a little bit more. But um I know for a while there I was really into like Hulk movies, but those are like the older movies. I haven't really watched like Mark Ruffalo as Hulk, although I do like him as an actor. I always thought he was a pretty cute guy. But I remember like the Edward Norton version of Hulk, and then there was another one that came out in like 2003 or 2004. I was like a kid or something when it came out, but I remember I used to watch those Hulk movies like all the time. So I do like, I guess if I had to pick one of the Avenger characters that I really liked, it'd probably be Hulk. And then I mean, I guess I could say Captain America, but it's like I would just say that because it's Chris Evans. I really don't know anything about his character except for the fact that he used to be really tiny. I remember I saw like this picture of him and he was like super skinny and everything before he became Captain America. So I don't know, but I don't know enough about each character to say who I really enjoy, except for Hulk, because I know a little bit more about his origins. I would say like that, but yeah, I think I'm going to kind of wrap it up here. I don't want to lose my voice. As you can tell, I'm like straining to talk a little bit right now, and I'm really stuffed up. So I'm sorry if I sound like a nasally, like, I don't know. I was trying to think of something, but I don't know. I know I sound nasally. I apologize for that, but I can't help it. So, um, I will say that for next week, I'm not too sure if I'm going to be putting out a new episode, just because it's Christmas, and I might be traveling, so that might be a little bit more difficult for me. But so in case that I don't, I want to tell you guys Merry Christmas. I hope you guys have a good holiday, a good break to be with your family and your friends and everything. But if I do come out with another episode next weekend, I'm thinking it might be another movie review. I'm not 100% sure. We'll see. Sometimes I write down my ideas, and I think, like, I try to plan ahead a little bit, and I'll go, oh, next week I'll talk about this, and then something else pops up, or like I'll learn something new or something on social media. I'll go, no, I gotta talk about that. So it just kind of depends on what's going on. But what I did want to do was see the new Avatar movie, and then maybe give you guys a review on that. But that movie is like 3 hours long, dude. Like, but I do want to see it though. I heard it was good. And then if not that, then I might dive into something else. I don't know for sure. I'm still looking for a new TV show to get into, so let me know your recommendations in the comments, or you can tweet me or message me on Instagram or Facebook or anything like that. Um, or if there's a movie or a TV show that you think I should discuss, or you feel like you would want me to get into, just let me know and I'll check it out. Especially if it's on Netflix or Hulu, because I have accounts for both. Or if it's something on cable, then I could definitely watch it. Um, and then I know I keep mentioning this as well, but I am working on trying to make separate social media pages for the podcast, so that way it's not all mixed in with my personal stuff. And I think I'm looking to have that up by at least by like January, I think. Um, It might take me a little bit of time, so don't quote me on that. But like I said, it'll be easier. So that way, if you guys want to find any like previous episodes or anything like new or upcoming or something like that, or if I have a guest and I want to like announce it to you guys, it'll be on my separate social media pages, and it won't be mixed in with like other personal things that I post. And I probably should have done that when I first started the podcast, but I wasn't thinking that far ahead. But um that's what I'm working on. And I might even create an email too. So if you guys want to give me feedback, or if you have ideas, suggestions, or if you want to come on the show and you want to talk to me about it, then I'll have an email for that as well. So trying to work on making things a little bit better, making things a little bit more professional. I'm trying here, but it might take me a little bit to get it together. But just know that that's coming. And then, like I said, I'm gonna try to push to bring out a new episode for you guys. So hopefully I'll see you next weekend. But if not, of course I will let you guys know. That's why you have to follow me on my social media pages to get updates. And I usually put it in the comments so you guys can see, instead of me like listing all of my usernames, that'll be too much. So I just put it in the comments. And then yeah, let me know how you like this episode, or if you would like me to continue this discussion, because I feel like there will be, more news coming out about this. Let me know, and I'll circle back around to it as well. And yeah, I think I'm gonna sign off here because, like I said, I'm straining to talk right now. Um, and thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate all the support, all the likes, comments, anything like that. I appreciate all of it. So hopefully, I will see you guys next Saturday. Bye bye.